Let's talk about the prospecting skills that real estate never taught you. What's going on, everyone? As you're joining this, whether you are watching live or the replay, I would love to know where it is that you're tuning in from. So drop in the comments where it is that you're located. I myself am in South Florida, and let me tell you, in the next couple minutes, I want just kind of want to share with you some of the skills when it comes to prospecting that I wish real estate school could have taught. A lot of them are things that you can apply to your business right now. But like I said, let me know where it is that you're joining from. And before I get onto today's video, which is more like a training, if you haven't joined my prospecting community, Dominate Prospecting on School, make sure that you join that. We have masterminds the first and the third Monday of every single month where we do some role playing, we answer questions. It's a group of agents and we come together and we're talking about real estate, what people are doing, what's working, what's not working. So make sure that you join this community. This is also where I'm always posting different tips, strategies, AI related, prospecting for sale by owner. I mean, you name it. If it comes to mind, if it's something that I know is going to be helpful for you as an agent, I usually post it in there. So again, school.com/prospecting. And just know that every single Thursday, this same time, 3 o'clock Eastern, I am going live here on YouTube. And the reason that I want to do that is because, first of all, I want to get back into a consistent rhythm of showing up for you live. I just know that live streaming, listen, it's not easy because you have to talk for a while. I don't know what's going to come out. I might stumble. I might, start speaking Spanish. I have no idea, but just know that I really do enjoy, doing these live streams, and I hope that you do too. So if you find these valuable, please drop me a comment, subscribe to the channel. I want to take it to 100,000 this year. And again, just sharing more knowledge and experience that I have had for you guys as agents. So I know that you guys are tuning in. Brandon, I see you. I know that you are watching. I really appreciate you supporting the channel, always here. Brandon is in Arkansas, someone I know. So really, thank you so much for tuning in. Now, with that being said, let's talk about some of these prospecting skills that I wish, real estate school taught us. And actually, before I get into this, just to take you a little bit back. So I got licensed in real estate back in 2015. And before I got into real estate, I had no sales experience. First of all, I never thought that I was going to be a realtor or that I was going to be making phone calls or talking to people or prospecting. I had no idea what any of that was. Aside from that, my background was in marketing and advertising. So, in case you're new to my channel or you didn't know, before I got into real estate, I worked for about 9 years in marketing and advertising, and I absolutely loved what I did. I was traveling all over the country. At one point, I was living out of a suitcase from hotel to hotel. I was like living the dream, right? Everything's getting paid for. But it got to the point that I was just not happy with what I was doing. I was never home. I was never seeing my family. And that's kind of when I saw real estate as a way to get into something that I would be getting paid in proportion to the work that I was going to put in. I knew that it was not going to be easy or glamorous, but I had come from a background in marketing and advertising where I was always on the go. And like I said, I loved what I did. And at the same time, it got to a point that I felt like I was being overworked and underpaid. And some of the environments that I was working in were just not the best. Maybe some of you that are watching this can relate. So, anyway, getting into real estate, I remember looking up what it was like and also figuring out what the process was to get licensed. And I got the courses. This was back again, 2015, end of 2014. First, I got licensed in California. And if you're from California, you know how long that takes. But anyway, it was just these two books. And I remember reading them, and I had bought some course that I was going through. And a lot of it was just terms and just situations. But I didn't know once I got my license, okay, what's going to happen next, right? What's the real world of real estate like? So one of the first things that they're not teaching that I wish that they should, and I'm glad that you're watching this here right now because you're probably learning a lot from my channel. Is right. You guys see me? Hopefully, there you are. It looks like I got muted. Uh, Hopefully, you caught most of what I was saying. But what I was saying is that the phone skills, right? How you communicate, what you say when you are talking to someone, right? A lot of times I get agents all the time that tell me, hey, you know what, Loida, I just got my license. I'm really excited, but what do I do now? How do I talk to people? How do I prospect? What am I going to say? What scripts do I use? So these are little things, right? That if you don't know, like, yes, you have your license, which is a piece of paper, but then what's going to happen next? The communication, the objection handling, right? All of these little things that if you're not prepared for it or you don't know who to go to for help, you're going to want to probably give up. Along with that, rejection. How many of you have dealt with rejection? It happens all the time in this business. If you're talking to someone, they might say, I'm not interested. No, thank you. I don't need you. Bring me a buyer, whatever it is, or they just hang up on you or they tell you to F off, whatever it is. Again, I don't remember reading about rejection when I was getting my license. I don't know about you, but I don't think that's in any of the books. Along with that, how do you recover from prospecting and not having any results as you're making these calls? How do you recover from those calls to get back in the mindset of, okay, you know what? We're going to reset. We're just going to keep going. Again, these are little things that I wish I was taught back then, because these are all things that I had to learn. And luckily, I had a lot of guidance and I was learning from the right people that were helping me with my mindset. But if you're not prepared for it, again, you're going to want to quit. I see a comment. Someone says, I quit real estate 1 year in. And listen, like, I get it. We see it happen all the time because this business is not for everyone. And again, you have to be able to control, how you feel and your emotions. One thing I like to tell agents all the time is that you should not be attached to the outcome of the conversation, right? So whether someone is super happy to talk to you on the phone or they're really rude, I never take it personal because I don't know what that person is going through. And the last thing that I want happening is that they're upset and I take it personal. And then that stops me from prospecting or talking to other people. So, again, this is just one of the things. Another thing, pattern interrupts. And this has to do more with communication, right? Because again, another thing that I get a lot from agents and agents that I coach and train, especially newer agents, is, you know what, Loida, I'm saying certain things and people are just hanging up on me, or they're telling me that they're not interested. So how can I break through so that I can actually continue to have a conversation? Pattern interrupts. If you don't know what those are things that you can say to stop someone in the mid sentence of, like, I'm not interested. So for example, when someone tells me, oh, I'm not interested, I like to say, okay, not interested in what? And that throws them off because maybe other agents are saying, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to call you or whatever it is. But I want to throw someone off because they're not expecting me to say something like that. And you have to stay calm. You have to be speaking in a way of, like, curiosity. When it comes to communication, tonality, mirroring and matching. So I have found that those are extremely helpful and, a huge advantage if you know how to be able to communicate over the phone or even in person. If you know who you're talking to, the likelihood of them staying on the phone with you is going to be much higher if you in comparison to if you have no idea who you're talking to. So who you're talking to, I'm talking about if you're talking to a driver, an expressive and analytical. If you're talking to an older lady, sometimes older people tend to talk a little lower or a little slower. And being able to adjust the way that you're talking to match the person that you're talking to, it's almost like they end up feeling like maybe they know you or you're at the same level, if that makes sense. So, again, this is really important. Pattern interrupts. As well, when you are saying these pattern interrupts, you don't want to, you know, sound like a pushy. If you want more pattern interrupt examples, make sure that you are joining my school group. Again, school.com/prospecting, because that's where I have posted some recently, especially when it comes to for sale by owners, and also catch up on some of my recent videos that I have posted, because pattern interrupts are just so big, especially in this business. And the more that you are able to learn different ones to use, the more that you'll be able to stand out as you're making these phone calls. Along with that, I wish in real estate school, as I was going through my courses where it talks about objection handling, I feel like everything that I'm talking about right now, you're probably like, these are all things that I had to learn afterwards, that had to either go to YouTube for, which you're probably here now because of that, or you had to hire a coach, or you have been told that you need a coach to help you with those things to get better. So, objection handling for me, believe me, cold calling, making phone calls, and prospecting was never something that I thought I was going to be doing in a million years. Uh, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when real estate was not even a thought in my head, if you would have told me that I was going to be an agent, that was going to make phone calls, that was going to call expireds for sell by owners, that was actually going to door knock and talk to people, I would have said, "You are crazy. That is so embarrassing. I am never going to do that." And when I got started in this business, I quickly learned that the faster that you get better at handling objections, the faster that you'll have the mindset that you don't care if people are rude to you or however they react, because you know exactly what to say to whoever it is that you're talking to. And if they are motivated and serious when it comes to buying or selling, you're going to set that appointment. So I made it a goal to learn at least four, if not five or more objection handlers for every single common objection that I would get. So earlier today, I was at an event that I put together out here in Florida, and there were two agents. It was a lovely couple, and we were doing some role play when it comes to for sale by owners. And I have also done this for my Dominate Prospecting community group in one of our masterminds recently, where I get an objection, and there's like five different ways that I can handle that objection. So, for example, I mean, for sale by owners, they always tell you, "Oh, I have a friend that I will list it with." I like to ask, "Okay, well, what does your friend think about it? What does your friend think about you going for sale by owner? Why didn't you go with your friend in the first place to or you hire a professional?" So again, these are little things that it takes time, it takes practice, it takes a lot of reps, a lot of role playing, because objection handling, you have I keep that's what's going to separate you guys from anybody else. It seems like I keep having some technical difficulties where my microphone keeps getting muted. So if you're seeing me that I'm looking down, it's because that's happening. Um, but yeah, this is not going to be a long live stream. Even my computer's already feeling it. So the last thing that I want to also talk about is, getting detachment from the outcome, because sometimes you want to set that appointment, you have a specific vision for that conversation that you had, that client, it says, "You know what, I'm really interested in selling, but give me a call back next week." So now you're already picturing your commission check, the dollar signs, right? And sometimes it doesn't end up um coming into fruition, or something happens, or they fall off the face of the earth. I remember one time I had a client, and I had set a listing appointment, and I called to confirm that we were going to meet up the next day, didn't answer. I was calling a few days later, still didn't answer. Long story short, my client actually fell down the stairs and was in the hospital. So I'm over here thinking, "Oh, they ghosted me, they're not going to use me," when in reality they got hurt. So you never know what someone's going through. And at the same time, there will be those clients that at the end of the day, they might not need to sell or do anything. So you can't be attached to that outcome, because again, in this business, we don't get paid until. So that's it for today. I'm going to keep it very short because, Again, I have a lot of different things that I want to share with you, but I'm going to save it for the next week. I'm going live every single Thursday, 3 o'clock Eastern. Sometimes they may be 15 minutes. Sometimes it may be an hour. Next week, I'm actually going live with PropStream. So I, as an agent, I use a lot of different tools and resources. PropStream is one that I absolutely love and use. And we're going to be going live with them, and they're going to be demonstrating how you can find more seller leads that other agents aren't even thinking about. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Join the school group, school.com/prospecting. And with that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.